My dear friends, today we are celebrating the feast of the baptism of the Lord. So, this feast tells us about how Jesus was baptized in the river Jordan and its significance in our life. So, in order to understand the significance of this feast, let me begin with the baptism administered by John the Baptist. We do not have one man's account about the baptisms that are performed in the Jewish religion. We have many accounts by the rabbinic literature, Qumran literature, the literature by the historian Josephus, and in the Hebrew literature. So, what is the core aspect of all these texts? According to rabbinic literature, a person can be initiated into Judaism through circumcision, immersion, and a sacrifice in the temple. And in other literature, what is given is ritual washing, purification before meals or after touching a corpse when someone becomes unclean, or a touch of a junior Jew to a senior Jew. So in all these cases, we have ritual washing. So the baptism by John the Baptist, in nutshell, is a baptism of washing of one's sins. So once a person is repentant of their sins and is immersed in full water, that person is cleansed of his or her sins. What is lacking in the baptism of John was, though they are washed of their sins, that baptism itself does not give any power to them not to continue in sin. Just like the commandments given by Yahweh to the people of Israel through Moses did not have the power in themselves to prevent people from committing sin, because they needed to commit every day these commandments through their act of will. So too, the baptism of John did not automatically provide the power not to commit sin and to be in relationship with God. They had to always strive not to commit sin and in their good relationship with God. But what happened at the baptism of Jesus? More than the immersion into the river Jordan, some different supernatural manifestations were there. One, the heavens were opened, voice of the Father saying, "This is my beloved Son." In Mark's Gospel, it is too direct, "You are my beloved Son," and the experience of the Holy Spirit. So, when Jesus was immersed in the water by John the Baptist, he was not washed of his sins because he was sinless, but he was empowered by the Holy Spirit to go forward and to do his ministry. To do his ministry and accomplish the purpose for which he has come, even if there were struggles and difficulties and hurdles in his life. So he was in the embrace of the Father and was empowered by the Holy Spirit. Now, what is the significance of these two forms of baptism fulfilled in the baptism of Jesus? In our life, we are also baptized. We may be baptized as infants or as adults. In whatever the case, in our baptism, we are not only cleansed from the original sin, but also we are empowered by the Holy Spirit to live our Christian life, to become witness of Christ, to proclaim Christ to the whole world, even if the whole world is against us. Even if we are troubled by the many sufferings in our life. My dear friends, what are we to do in our life in the context of this baptism, of this feast? We need to ask the Lord to rejuvenate every day in our life the grace of baptism, so that we may not only be cleansed from our sinfulness, but also we may be empowered to live by the Holy Spirit. For that, we need to surrender every day and every moment to the Holy Spirit and determine to listen to the promptings of the Holy Spirit and have the courage to model our life according to the promptings of the Spirit. If we do so, no matter what happens in our life, we will be able to live a life according to the will of God and do our ministries, all the activities according to the promptings of the Spirit, and be victorious even in the midst of sufferings and struggles and oppositions.